All right, and we're live.
Well, hello everyone. I hope you can hear us fine. This is a little different. We're doing this remotely in the spirit of protecting ourselves due to COVID. So this is, of course, the 27th Degree with Chris and Nancy, and brought to you by 27 Degrees Consulting. And today we have a special guest also with us, Taylor. Taylor is our social media person. What else can we call you, Taylor? You do so much.
No, I think we call it creative producer.
Creative producer. I like that. I like that. I like that. But in the spirit of the holidays, we wanted to do a podcast on charitable giving and talk a little bit about some things that we can all do. Charitable giving is down across the board throughout the country, mostly because of COVID. And it's a lot of organizations that do a lot of good are really hurting right now. So we thought we'd talk a little bit about what we plan on doing this year and maybe some things that you can think about doing also during this season. So Nancy, you want to start? What do you think?
Yes, thank you. So first of all, for anyone thinking of giving to a donation or a charity, but you may be a little hesitant, there are charity watchdog sites out there, so you can actually look up the charities that you're interested in. They give them a rating based on the percentage of dollars they actually use for their programs versus the percentage of dollars they use for overhead or salaries or what have you. Two of the more popular watchdog sites are charitynavigator.org. And again, we'll post any link we'll talk about, Taylor will post after the show.
Yeah, and I'm actually sharing it.
Oh, cool. So again, first one, charitynavigator.org, excellent watchdog site. And the second one that I use is the charitywatch.org. So you can actually go and look up your charities that you're interested in or look at their list if you're not certain, like you feel like you want to give, but you don't know exactly who you want to give to. They run a long list. They have little explanations of each of the charities, and they give them a grading like an A+, B-, and they show you the percentages. To me, I like knowing that a lot of my money that I give is actually going towards the programs and not towards overhead or salary. All righty. So I think one I want to start out with is one that we've donated to over the past couple of years, and it's concerning domestic violence. So domestic violence is unfortunately prevalent. 1 in 4 women experience some type of physical violence by their partner. So there is a website that's really nice. I have to say, a lot of these websites this year have really stepped up to make it easier to give virtually. It's a couple of clicks, you're done, and it's real clean, real simple. So this particular website is domesticshelters.org. You go right on their website, you can click the donate tab. And what's really cool about this site is the shelter wish list. So you can enter in your location, see the charities in the organizations in your area. But what's nice is they have a wish list. So you can look at items they actually need. And a lot of it's toiletries, and they're not expensive. They're like brushes, shampoos, toothbrushes. So it's like shopping on Amazon. You just click, put it in a cart, and it will go directly to the organization that you specify. So for instance, I looked at the New Bedford Women's Center. They have their wish list, they have their top needed items. And what's nice about this too, if you do spend over $50, shipping is free, and it gets shipped right to the organization. So I kind of like that. That was pretty cool. Chris, you want to talk about one of your shelters next?
Yeah. I have 2 things I want to talk about. So I'm really an animal lover, so I like to do charities that help out pets and dogs, cats that are in trouble. So there's a lot of ways you can do this. What I would look at is shelters, hopefully non-kill shelters, where they have pets that are available for adoption. It's very expensive to care for these animals in the correct way, and they are always really grateful for any donation. The one that's local that I use is the Faxon Animal Shelter, and the phone number for this particular shelter is 508-676-1061. They do a great job and they take great care of their animals. And one thing I want to mention also just about adoption of animals in general. Think about a rescue dog. Think about adopting a rescue dog or cat or animal rather than going to a pet store and or getting an animal from that's a basically a puppy. Try to get something. Try to look at that option because a lot of these dogs and cats they're just great pets. They make great pets, and they're just really looking for a home where they can be loved. So once again, I think that's a great option. The other thing I'm going to mention, which is not local but more of a national organization, is PetSmart. So PetSmart, which we all know, has an incredible arm, and it's PetSmartCharities.org. Very easy to remember. What I like about them is that 90 cents of every dollar goes towards pet adoption. So they're only using 10 cents on a dollar for their administrative work and whatnot. The bulk of the money that's donated goes right to the animals and to helping with their adoption. They work with about 4,000 nonprofit organizations and governmental agencies, and they work to get animals into homes where they can be loved. So that's something that I think is a great option, especially around the holidays. Often pets are actually gifts that people give. So think about going to a shelter such as Faxon, and think about if you're not ready to do that, at least giving some money to an organization like PetSmart or your local shelter to help out. Nancy, do you want me to go on to talk about anything else, or do you want to move on?
I was gonna jump in too. So if you like larger pets, like, maybe cats and dogs aren't your kind of thing and you're more into like giraffes or rhinos or like
I don't know where this is going, but
no, and if you're still looking for a gift for someone that you want to give to, we did for the kids last year. We kind of did a cool gift. We adopted a baby elephant that had been rescued, and a giraffe and a rhino. We have 3 kids. We named a different animal. So this is the Sheldrick Wildlife Trust.org. They're out of Kenya. They do rescue missions throughout the area for babies that have been orphaned because of poaching or just because of certain circumstances. They also help with like veterinary relief. So it's a really cool website to go on, and for $50 you can actually pick your pet. They have all profiles of the baby elephants or the giraffes or the rhinos, and you can actually watch their rescue videos, and then you can follow your animal throughout the year. Again, it's $50. I think when we got them for the kids last year, we had printed off, you get a certificate of adoption with your specific baby that you adopted. And it was really cool. We framed it up and wrapped it up for the kids. And then, so they got that for a gift. But then every month, not only do you just get like a rescue video, every month they do a watercolor they email out to you on your adopted little buddy. And they do, they update with diary or journal entries from the caregiver, so you can see your animal being fed or being cared for. They give you updates. It's just kind of neat, and it's an interactive gift like that really lasts all year, and it's a feel-good feeling. You're doing something nice, and it's an unusual, cool gift to give. So again, that was Sheldrick Wildlife Trust.org.
What's that again, Nancy? What's the website?
Sheldrick, SHELDRICK, wildlifetrust.org.
that sounds great. It's a great option.
Yeah, it's a great website. Like you can really just kind of check out, all the elephants, and they have some giraffes sometimes. And I think we gave Eric a little baby rhino last year to kind of. So it was cool. They really like the gifts. It's unexpected.
Yeah, I mean, these animals are really dependent on us, and unfortunately, there's a lot of bad things that can happen to them, and many do end up in kill shelters. So, anything that can be done to help them out is fabulous. And once again, if you can, Nancy had a great option there. More locally, there are non-kill shelters that you can support. PetSmart is a great charity also.
Yeah, and PetSmart has, I think, one of the highest ratings too. I think they have like an A+ rating. So, and they go all through the nation, I think, too, right?
I
So,
believe they do. I believe they
yeah,
do.
that's
The
pretty cool.
website is really easy. If you go onto PetSmartCharities.org, it's so easy to donate. Basically, a donate button, you hit it, and you're there. So it's not complicated at all, and it's safe, and the money is used, like I said, 90 cents on each dollar for the animals.
That's what I liked about a lot of the websites that I looked at. They really make it easy to donate. It will really take you truly under a minute to do a gift donation for the holiday season this year.
Yeah.
That's great. I want
Everyone still gets to remain COVID friendly.
Yes.
Taylor, they're coming for you.
Yeah. Look alive, you guys. Wait a minute.
They found you out.
I'm like, excuse me, I have 20 more minutes.
So Taylor, before you go and talk, can I just mention one more thing?
Yeah, of course. No, you guys go. I'm just gonna. I just want to cover, for anyone in the Fall River area, the super local drop-offs.
You go ahead, and then I'm going to talk about one more thing afterwards.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
yeah,
want to talk about one more thing too.
You do.
Go ahead, Taylor.
All right, so I just want to discuss there. So I was just part of my co-host on my Cupcakes and Wine podcast. We were part of a CFC and Boys and Girls Club toy drive that did just end last week. But if you still want to be a part of a drop-off, there's another drop-off location. I'm just going to read off my other computer, but I know the River Trust group is also be a part of that CFC Boys and Girls Club. So that drop off is going until December 14th, and you just dropped off unwrapped new toy, similar to what we were running before at the church. And this is you can drop this off at 32 6th Street in Fall River. And they'll mask up. Everybody masks up, sanitizes the box. Super COVID friendly still, but you still get to drop off that personal toy. And it's going to a child's in need in the city. Another one that's going on, and that's going on to the end of the night.
Can I interrupt just for a sec? So that drop off date is December 14th. You can't it's not dropping off till December 14th, right?
Oh, you can nope. You can do it until December 14th. I think they're doing they're doing the drop off to the toys for CFC. I mean to the Boys and Girls Club on December 15th.
Okay.
So you can physically bring the toy anytime up until December 14th to that 32 6th Street. And it's an actual place. It's not like a random house or anything. Another one I have, there's the VA hospital is holding a hospital toy drive. So this is for the kids in the hospitals. Probably they're going to be there for Christmas. So that's at Shorty's Pub in Fall River, and that is on 87 Etna Street in Fall River. They have the box right up front when you first walk in to the restaurant. Same thing, new unwrapped toy. And they're dropping those off this Saturday. So really, you just have the rest of anybody's around that area today, they can still bring that all day. They're also running up until January a sock drive. And this is with the state rep, Alan Sylvia. They're going to drop that all off to him sometime in January. But you can drop off the new socks at Shorty's Pub up until February. Actually, this one is more for homeless and the needy. Okay. So anything warm.
Where's Shorty's Pub again?
87 Etna Street in Fall River.
Etna Street.
Mm-hmm. They're collecting new socks. It's a warm feet program, men, women, and children.
Great.
That's great.
You can drop off at Shorty's Pub or at Alan Sylvia's district office, which is 1664 South Main Street.
Hey, if you want to buy new socks too, isn't there a sock organization that for every sock you buy, they donate a pair of socks to the homeless? Which?
Bamba.
Oh, yes, that's it too. So I guess if you're gonna go buy socks for this, go to Bomba.
There you go.
Yeah, that's a great idea. That's even better than double dipping over there. That's a great
I
idea.
know. That's how I roll.
Nancy, you can't give away you can't give away any of your old socks with holes in them. Just keep that in mind. These are new socks, Nancy.
I hardly ever really wear socks to begin with.
I'm not a huge sock
a wicked
person.
sock person. Yeah. Maybe my cozy socks. That's it.
Just wanted to make sure you knew, Nancy. That's all.
All right, I'll keep
But
that in
yeah,
mind.
they're collecting socks for men, women, and the children. And that drop off is at that 664 South Main or Shorty's Pub up until February, because this is more of a winter drive for the homeless.
Excellent.
What's that 664 North Main?
That is Alan Sylvia's office of the state. He's a state rep for the area.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's about what I got, I think.
All right.
My
I'm going
local
to talk just a little bit about nursing homes. So, nursing homes are really, many of them nonprofit and many of them are not. But in general, whether they be nonprofit or for-profit, although I would recommend you support the nonprofit ones, they are definitely hurting. So just to understand a little bit of why they're hurting right now, I mean, it seems like, wow, they got lots of business, there's lots of residents, there's people there with COVID and all this stuff. That's why they're hurting. There's people there with COVID. So a lot of the nursing homes have really been hurt hard with COVID. So what does that do? It immediately basically prevents them from having any rehab patients. And if you look at the finances of nursing homes, all of the money that nursing homes make pretty much is based on rehab patients. The long-term patients that often are on Mass Health in Massachusetts, they actually lose money on each one of those patients. The way that they are able to keep whole is they bring in rehab patients. And that's how nursing homes basically are financially able to make it. It's on the rehab patients, not the long-term patients. So they're not getting any rehab patients right now. They have a lot of really sick long-term patients in many instances. And they're spending a lot of money on PPE and things that they didn't have to spend on before. So a lot of these homes are really hurting. So if you have a loved one that's in a nursing home and they do a great job, you should consider donating to the nursing home. If they're nonprofit, it's easy to do. You may not be able to really do it if it's a for-profit organization. There may be some regulations on that. You have to look into it. But many of them are nonprofit organizations, and I would really consider that. They really are in need right now. They're really struggling, and their staff is struggling. Maybe you just want to, give something for the home itself, or to support the staff. You can choose what you want it to be for in some instances. Think about it. There's a need right now.
That's great.
Just as an example, last year my band played a charitable event. We raised $8,000 for the Catholic Memorial Home in Fall River. We couldn't do that this year. So, that's another thing. A lot of these homes have events that people, do to support them, and none of those took place this year. So they're kind of getting hit from a lot of angles.
And I think the money, it's cool to think of what it goes towards too, because what did John say last year when you had done that the great band event? It was he was able to take some monies that they had been given previously to do like adaptable bathrooms and all that stuff to make like the living environment so much nicer.
Yeah, it was very concrete. In fact, we were going to do another event this year, and the money we got from this year was going to be combined with last year's money to do that, to redo some of the bathrooms and whatnot in the home, and the Alzheimer's unit in particular. So, I mean, there's just a great need. A lot of these homes are older. They have infrastructure needs. It's very expensive to heat, to run, whatnot. And right now they're in a tough spot. So keep that in mind. It might be a great option for you, particularly if there's a home that cared for a family member of yours and you were, really happy with the care that they provided.
Yeah, absolutely. I did find one more. So if you're all set, Chris.
Yeah, I'm done.
And actually, to piggyback off of that same thing, I don't think any organizations that normally do those September, October, November fundraisers could do them this year. Hence why when we were collecting for CFC, I do have another one that's for CFC Boys and Girls Club. the goal was to get to 4,000 toys. And Nancy and I, we had talked about that, and they had nothing when I had first spoke to her because they weren't able to do their little Christmas in July fundraiser, any of those. So I haven't gotten a count yet. I actually, for our podcast on Monday night for Cupcakes and Wine, I think we're supposed to have a little count for that. So hopefully we're close to full. But this one that I also had for CFC Toy Drive is the drop off is on 394 Kilburn Street, and I'll do a wrap up post later on the 27 Degrees page with all this information. It's another drive through, COVID safe, same thing, new toy unwraps, and that one's going until
Oops, Taylor,
yeah.
oh, there you go.
We
Oh,
lost
am I
you
big?
there for a second.
Your audio, yeah,
I'm back.
faded out for a sec.
This one is on, so it's Saturday, December 19th, 394 Kilburn Street. And I'll get a time for that as well. It's not right here, but I'll get a time in a later wrap up post. But that one's a little bit later on if you need some time. I know I gave a lot that are ending around this weekend. Because I know they're looking to do those toy deliveries really soon. But again, like Chris said, with the nursing homes, everybody, it's just the fundraiser was kind of crushed. Fundraising efforts were crushed this season with COVID.
So speaking of toys, I want to jump in and talk about an organization that is probably pretty well known, Toys for Tots, the Marines Toys for Tots program. And again, highly rated program. 96% of your donation goes directly towards toys and gifts. They only use 4% to cover their fundraising costs. And there's no money used for any salary or manpower costs. So like I said, everyone I think is pretty familiar with the Toys for Tots. They do a really good job advertising, but I was kind of interested in like the backstory, like how did this start, right? So when I was looking at the website, just for a little trivia, in 1947, Marine Corps Reserve Major Bill Hendricks, he was married. His wife made these handcrafted dolls and she gave them to Bill and said, here, Bill, go find an organization that supports needy children and please give these dolls. And he came back home and he was like, there's no organizations out there. So the wife looked at him and said, his wife's name was Diane. His wife looked at him and said, well, go start one. So we did, and that's how Toys for Tots came around. I thought that was kind of a cool story. So then, of course, the next year they went national. So they have a great website. I have to tell you, my husband is not technically savvy at all. He actually asked him if he could donate for us on this website. He was completed done in like 42 seconds, and he had no problem. So if he had no problem, it's super easy. You just go on it, you push the tab for donate. They have a really cool virtual toy box. So again, you can pick from their list of toys. You can filter it by ages if you want. And the toys range maybe from like $11 to some more expensive toys, but not like crazy expensive, not like Xboxes or anything like that. It's just normal stuff. And you just put as many toys as you want in the toy box, and then you cash out, and you're truly done in like 42 seconds. And a lot of the websites too that we had looked at also accept PayPal. So if you're a little hesitant about really putting your credit card number out there, most of these sites accept PayPal.
Cool. That's really cool.
Hey Nancy, I was going to mention something about Toys for Tots because this is actually something I had heard recently on one of the major news organizations. They were interviewing the gentleman who is the head of it now, and just a little more of kind of a backstory about this year with them. Sometime over the summer, they gave away a lot of their toys because they realized that a lot of kids were really isolated and suffering. They have they have toys that are, they have from year to year that they have in storage. So they don't deplete their entire stock every year. But this year they pretty much depleted their entire leftover stock. So they're starting kind of behind the eight ball. And to add insult to injury, no one is really giving this year as they did in years previous. So they're really in a tough spot this year.
Yeah, I know usually annually, I think they give over 18 million toys to over 7 million needy kids across the nation.
Right.
So like Chris said, it's certainly noteworthy if you can even do a little something. If everyone does just a little something, it means so much. Like a lot of times we think about these grand things, we can do this or we can do that, but to actually just do it. Sometimes what we think and all our good intentions don't add up if we just don't take action. So even if you're listening to this podcast, like it literally takes under a minute to launch into one of these sites and just get
Yeah.
Yeah, for example, with these kids, some of these kids, that's the only toy they're going to get.
Right.
Yeah. Yep.
So it's really needed, and if there's not enough this year, they may not receive anything. So it's unfortunate, it's sad. So
And people just have to
little things make a difference.
And even to go off of that, for the things that are to donate like money here and there for some, I know some of them where you donate money and so much of the money would go to certain things. If everybody was to donate $1, that would be, the dollars all add up. So even if you think, hey, I can't donate, but if you donate that $1 and someone else and a million other people donate $1 or 300 people, that's $300, So
Good, great point, Taylor.
remember that little bit of what they give is also just an addition from everybody else.
Right.
Absolutely.
I did post a lot of the links that we talked about in the comment stream. So for anybody who doesn't want to wait for that wrap up post, they can start there. They can check out some of the links I posted through the live stream.
Thank you so much, Taylor.
Thanks so much.
Guys, I'm gonna have to hop off.
Yeah.
But this was great. I'm really, really glad that we did this.
Great. Yes. Thank you, Nancy. And I just want to mention January 8th will be our next podcast. It's going to be a really special one. We're going to talk about the COVID vaccine, and I'll have an expert on who can discuss all your questions that you may have. At that point, we're going to start with the vaccine coming out. By January, it's going to be out there. So.
Did we not tell you that, Taylor? That was a surprise.
No.
Taylor's excited.
My happiness is overwhelming.
So that'll be.
Do you need somebody to volunteer for the COVID vaccine on the show? Because I'll do it.
I can't guarantee that, Taylor, but I'll see what I can do.
Nice try, Taylor.
I know. We need a clean, sanitary office, but
all right.
I am all about it.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to the 27th Degree with Chris and Nancy, and today Taylor. Take care, and everyone have a great day.
Bye, guys.
Bye.